Village Voices.
And I'm Shannon Churchwell. Hi, everybody.
Hey, we need to try to get you up to date on what's going on in the community, okay? It's a lot of mess going on, and
a lot of heads are rolling, and more heads are wobbling, ready to pop and fall off and roll.
A lot of our leaders of the community are either resigning. We just had Calvin Atkinson resign for fraud, which was a disappointment. You know,
and past Friday, the Clark County Commission appointed Marsha Washington from the Culinary Workers Union to replace him. And Assemblywoman Dina Neal was extremely disappointed, but she vows that she will run for the seat in 2020. So we look forward to Dina Neal running in 2020. And Marsha Washington said that she will not be running, and her husband stood up and said that they plan to put their full support behind Assemblywoman Dina Neal when she runs for the state Senate seat in 2020.
I personally don't understand why Marsha Washington would agree to not run, because, I mean, the people need to be able to have a choice as to who they want to represent them in the Senate. Now, true enough, at this commissioners meeting, I think it was grossly unfair how it was selected. Not to say that Marsha Washington wouldn't do a great job and well deserved the appointment, but there were 11 people that put their name on the ballot for appointment, and they only looked at 2 people. They didn't even give the other people a chance. They didn't even give them a vote.
Well, that's why when people resign, it's sort of unfair, because, you know, these elected officials sort of know each other a little bit. It's not a fair process. They know who they like, who they don't like, and it just isn't really a fair process to the public. And with so many people resigning back to back and in a short period of time, the laws really need to be changed, because people should be able to elect their representative. Who knows, maybe Miss Washington, when she gets in there and she sees all of the good that she can do for the constituents of the area, we may see her say that, well, I changed my mind. You know, I may want to run for the state Senate seat in 2020. After all, people are allowed to change their minds. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that and see what happens as time rolls on. But there are also other resignations that are to be noted. Ward 2 City Councilman Steve Soroka resigned under a sexual harassment allegations. Assemblyman Mike Sprinkle resigned. Washoe County Commission will be appointing his replacement.
And I heard something about a rumor going, well, it's not a rumor, it's a fact about Lawrence Weekly. You know, there's some
about some Southwest Airline gift cards, and it's really unfortunate. But we'll keep an eye on that story and see how it develops and see how that plays out ultimately. Of course, prayers goes out to all of the families, Commissioner Weekly, Soroka's family, just everyone, Atkinson and his family. Because obviously this is a tough time, and I'm sure that people are very disappointed. Also, I want to mention, speaking of, you know, this whole resigning thing, there's a website, survivorsforreuben.com. And survivorsforreuben.com named 3 women that had accused former Congressman Reuben Kewin of sexual harassment. And this website, I had the opportunity to go through the website, and it raises questions about the validity of these women's claims.
The validity of their accusations.
The validity of their accusations. It had information on what they actually testified to in front of the ethics committee compared to what they said to the Nevada Independent and BuzzFeed and different media outlets that these women had spoken with. and it explores how their stories have changed. And one woman,
they were just downright deceptive. Okay,
one woman was saying that she wanted
deceptive.
to blackmail Ruben, and then she said that she didn't mean blackmail to really mean blackmail. She meant it to mean something else. So it was really quite an eye-opening, interesting website to go, survivorsforruben.com. And of course, Ruben Kewin says that he has absolutely nothing to do with the website. He does not approve of the website, and he does not personally know the people who put up the website. They are supporters of his that he is not affiliated with.
But he does have a right to defend himself.
These survivors, they have No Means No Ruben. They have a lot of people that are, or PACs that are organized to support their claims against Ruben. And this one lonely website that is in support of Ruben has come under tremendous fire. So check it out yourself, survivorsforruben.com, and see for yourself. I think that when it comes to these,
to other women that have really actually have been violated, you know,
when it comes to these allegations, it's important for the media to be unbiased and report on all sides of the story, and the public make up their mind from there.
And the Village Voices give you an opportunity to listen to all sides of the situation so that you yourself can determine from what you think whether it's right, wrong, or whether someone should represent you or not. Okay, we just present the issues. You know, we don't stand one way or the other, pro or for either situation. Okay, we are non-partisan, we're non-religious voice show.
And also, early voting began this Saturday, so if you haven't voted already, going out. Early voting is started this Saturday. It goes through the 29th of March. The final election will be on April 2nd. Be sure to do your due diligence, do your own research, and make sure you cast a vote. Also, I want to mention that Bernie Sanders was in town in Henderson over the weekend.
Yeah, he was here yesterday. Was it yesterday or Saturday? He was here Saturday.
I believe he was here Saturday in an open space in a park, having a rally there, which is interesting. Bernie had raised the most money than any of the other candidates that are running for the Democratic primaries. But Beto O'Rourke recently came out and said that he had raised over $6 million within 24 hours, making him the top fundraising candidate to run on the Democratic primary ticket. So far, Beto's coming out on top as far as the money game. Money is not going to buy the elections, votes will. So it'll be interesting to see how things shake out going. So make sure that you listen to all the candidates, and if you like what you're hearing from a particular candidate, go on and donate. If it's $3, $5, $10, make sure that you support the candidate that you want to win. They do need your money. A lot of these candidates are not taking corporate PAC money, so it's very important that you support who you want to see go forward, okay?
And remember, you can vote at any voting poll. It doesn't have to be in your neighborhood. Any place that has a voting poll, just go in there. If you're a registered voter, you can vote. We need all of you to come out and register your vote, because if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And don't complain about putting people into office position, in these elected officials that get in there and don't represent you. And hey, let's look at the ones that we keep putting in office. You know, the definition of stupidity or ignorance is to continue to put the same person back in office over and over again and get the same results, which is nothing. Let's make a change. Let's be willing to make a change, okay?
Well, there is also, I wanted to mention, at the Grand Sawyer building today at 10 o'clock, they had the cash bail rally, which was a very good rally. It's about time that we end cash bail. Stop criminalizing poverty. Stop sending people to jail, taking away their freedom because they can't afford a ticket. They can't afford, bail. Of course, if it's a heinous, horrible crime and the bail is set high, we don't want people like that out on the streets. People are innocent until proven guilty. There was this African American that was in New York who had killed himself because he was in prison for 3 years before his case never even went to trial. He couldn't afford the bail, and of course the trial took so long to come. He just ended up killing himself because he couldn't take waiting in jail for his trial to come. So we have about 40%, if my numbers are correct, about 40% of the people that are incarcerated are awaiting trial. And as we are innocent until proven guilty, that means 40% of the prison population who's presumed innocent are waiting in jail, waiting for the trial.
It shouldn't being released from jail should not be based upon whether you can pay the bail or not. It should be based on the merit of whether or not you're eligible to be released out back into the public, until you have your hearing. So, there's legislation being voted on up there in Carson City now, and you should encourage your assembly people to vote to get rid of this cash bail, the end cash bail, because it has affected so many people, black people and people of color and poor people, and that has a rippling effect. I mean, if you're too poor to get out, bail yourself out, maybe for a ticket or some nonviolent offense, you can end up even losing your children, losing your job. I don't see that the crime deserves the punishment.
And another thing I want to mention is this Sunday, Candace Owens, a Republican conservative who happens to be black, had Paris Denard on, who's a Republican conservative who happens to be black as well.
That was formerly a correspondent of CNN.
And speaking of being a correspondent, Donna Brazile has got a job being a correspondent for Fox News.
Oh, okay.
Look, when it comes to African Americans, I think that a lot of us are sick and tired of having the Democratic label, and there's really a fight for the votes at this point. Not saying that blacks are going to make Candace Owens is saying blacks are going to make some mass exodus to the Republican Party. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening under Donald Trump. But what I do see is blacks just moving to nonpartisan.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to say that blacks are on a Democratic plantation. Well, there's no need of going from one plantation to the other. If you really want freedom and exercise political power, being nonpartisan and making people fight for your votes and earn your vote, it would be the best solution for African Americans at this point in American history.
I think we have reached an evolution as to where we are now in the struggle. Black people have tried, they have supported so many other groups, and they have exercised sit-in demonstrations, marching, singing. I mean, you name it, we've done it. We supported everybody. But, it's come to the point now that everything that we've helped other people do, they've gained benefit from it, but we haven't. And our vote has been taken for granted, and we have been ignored. We need to stop allowed ourselves to be ignored. We do have issues that is pertinent to black people. Let's acknowledge that. There are issues that is pertinent to people of Hispanic background. Let's acknowledge that. There are issues that is pertinent to the gay LGBTQ population. Let's acknowledge that. The Asian American, let's acknowledge that. Once we can all acknowledge that we do have things that is specific to us, let's support one another. And whatever line that's common ground between us, but it can't keep going on where everybody turns their nose and ignore what is happening to us and expect us to continue to support you. That's not going to keep going on.
Well, when it comes to African Americans or the descendants of African slaves in America, we've had all of our rights taken away from us, and then our rights have been spoon-fed back to us. So there used to be a time they didn't even want us to learn how to read and write. So then they say, okay, well, now you can learn how to read and write. Well, we should have always been able to learn how to read and write. I mean, let's get real. There used to be a time where we couldn't walk in the front door of a building or sit in the front of a bus or get served in a particular restaurant.
A black man could even be caught looking at a white woman. You know what I mean?
There used to be
times where his life just by looking at her.
You couldn't marry or have, or somebody of a different race if you were black. So, you strip everything away from a person, then you spoon feed them back stuff that they should already have entitlement to, and say that you're doing something for them. No, you're not doing anything for us. You're giving us what we should have already had.
And for the few little things that the black descendants of slaves have obtained over the last 50 years, they're taking it away from us by denying who we are. We are black people, okay? We are not people of color. There are people of color here in the United States, but we're not one of them. We are black, okay? So stop trying to lump us all together, because our issues are different, and we want you to acknowledge that and support us.
And the black Republicans that want more black people to vote Republican, you need to really outline what the Republicans are going to do and how they would benefit us as a people. You can't just say, oh, aren't you tired of the Democrats ignoring you? Why don't you just go from one plantation to the next?
We're smarter than that.
You need to say what exactly, each candidate needs to be looked at on an individual basis, not on a party basis.
Exactly.
What are they doing that's going to effectuate changes that we want to see? Only thing I keep hearing these black Republican conservatives talk about is how they're free thinkers and they're not on the Democratic plantation.
But they're not saying anything of substance.
But you're not outlining any, and you're anti-abortion. You're not specifically outlining anything that can make people say, hey, I really can get with this particular bill or concept, or, you have to lay it out. And if you're not willing to go to the Republicans and talk about issues that are affecting the black community, then, we may as well just stay where we're at. I mean, they're basically going to be the same as what the Democrats have done to African Americans. Take your vote and don't give you anything.
Turn their nose up to you and ignore you. And one thing I could say, one of the reasons why I believe that the Republican Party won the election is because black Americans, descendants of slaves, are sick and tired of people ignoring them, ignoring their needs, pushing them back. We've been here for over 500 years, okay? Do you hear us now? Can you hear us? Either we're not gonna make a mass exodus to the Republican Party. What happened was a lot of black people didn't vote at all. There were some that did go to the Republican Party.
Well, you look at what's going on.
And we were not the only one that left.
You look at what's going on where Beto O'Rourke, he came in and first of all, him and his followers keep comparing him to Obama, which please. I don't understand that. Then he's saying he's in it, he was born in it. What kind of slogan is that? What's that supposed to mean for somebody that's running for president? It's all about him, me. I was born in it. I'm in it. It's not anything about we're gonna do this. Let's rise together. Even Cory Booker have we rise. It's not like I rise. Beto is all about himself. The election is not about Beto. What do you mean I'm in it? I was born in it. Does that mean because you're a younger white male that you are somehow entitled to something? But I'm going to let the Democrats really understand. Don't think that because a lot of people don't like Trump that it's just a shoo-in for you to win in 2020. Or that you think that we think that you love us, okay? It's not about love. We want people that is going to support us and help us to get over the hurdles. In fact,
that we have been fighting for years. We have laid the pathway for so many other groups. Okay? Now it's time for us to get what we deserve as American citizens. We have fought in every war, you know, and we have, I mean, when is it going to buy our time? We are not going to make no mass exodus to the Republican Party, but I'm going to tell you something.
That doesn't mean that black
you
people
conservative black people
Republican.
out there, if you're being hired by the Republican parties to get black votes, you got to come at it in a way that's not going to be degrading to black people. Show us respect. You know what I mean? Don't think that just because the Democrats have not did all that we asked of them to do, and they have did a lot, you know, and I give them that, but they can do more. And we want to continue to support whoever supports us. But if it's not there, then we have to decide who deserves to get our support and our vote. Because hey, something from nothing leaves nothing, okay? So, you know, that's what I say.
Doing the same thing over and over again is insanity if you're not getting positive results. You know, so if they think that they can just throw any particular Democrat candidate up against Trump and everybody's just going to run to the polls because they hate Trump so much, you're going to look at Trump's second term. You know, you have to get real and realistic. You know, people want to vote for somebody that is going to affect their bottom line as individuals. I'm looking for what's going to help affect me in a positive way and my family in a positive way, and so forth and so on as it spreads out to my community. But I don't want somebody that's going to get in office that is going to create all of these policies that's going to raise my taxes and, you know, cause all kinds of hardships on me and people in my community. And that's not going to work. And it's not going to work to think that you have some winning formula just because the person is white and male and running against Donald Trump. First of all, it is no offense to Beto. I've got to see what he's got, but he's not coming. He's not coming with a good foot as far as I'm concerned. I'm in it. I'm born in it, and all of this other stuff. Whoever said to him that was a good slogan, they need to really check themselves, because it sounds like self-entitlement. It sounds like a dog whistle for white people to think like the great white hope is here now. You know,
a little bit of Obama, a little bit of this.
I'm the white Obama.
I'm not feeling it. Okay?
Everybody just relax. I'm the white hope that's arrived on the scene because I'm the white Obama. You know, that you were looking for to run against Trump. Trump will eat him alive. Okay, the bottom line is, let's get real. Trump will eat Beto alive. I mean, let's get real here. Okay, this isn't some howdy-doody rodeo show.
But there's so much division in the Democratic Party. You know, we as Democrats, we have to get it together. You know, we have to acknowledge the needs of all the people if we're going to have a winning formula. Stop ignoring people.
You know, first of all, you know, there are a lot of racists in the Democratic Party.
That's right, just like there is in the Republican Party.
Okay,
we know
there
that.
are a lot of racists in the Democratic Party, and they'll invite you to the table, but they want you to sit there with an empty plate while everybody else that they think should feast is feasting.
And you just sitting up there.
They want to, you know, well, see, we invited you to the table.
Oh, you sitting down. I even gave you a fork and a spoon. But don't try to get none.
Don't put nothing on your plate.
No.
You know, so.
You're not ready for it yet. Well, yes, we're ready for it, okay? We're ready for it now. So I'm telling people,
and Fox News know what they're doing by inviting Donna Brazile.
Well, Donna got a lot to say.
Onto Fox.
Look what they did to her.
Look what they did to her during the last
how they turned their nose
election.
up to her. They don't want to contribute any money into the black community.
Yeah, because they think blacks are stupid, that they're just going to keep voting for them.
I mean, what is that all
and
about?
Not getting anything in return. You know, and in those days, it may have been a shiny new pony in the beginning, but it's not like that anymore. When I started listening to black people from Philadelphia tell me that they were willing to give Donald Trump a try,
and
or
people
give
in
him
Baltimore,
a chance.
Maryland.
When I heard people Black people say, I knew Hillary Clinton was not going to win.
No.
I knew that she wasn't going to win. When I started hearing black people say, well, maybe I'm going to give this Trump a chance. That has to let you know how frustrated black people are becoming with the Democratic Party. And maybe that's why they want to push for all of these illegal immigrants to come in and have citizenship or something, because they know good and damn well black people are sick and tired of the same old with the Democratic Party, and they're looking for a new fresh piece of meat to feast off of. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if it don't work out the way you think it's going to work out. It's too many competing factions in the Democratic Party where you have the left of the left pulling, you have the conservative Democrats, you have the true blue people. It's too many factions and different things that's going on in the Democratic Party, and maybe it's purposely to sabotage the Democratic Party.
Well, the bottom line is, people, let's get it together, okay? We are all Americans. We all deserve our rights and our freedoms as Americans. Don't think that it's right for you to have privileges, for me not to have privileges. My family came here as slaves against their will. We built this country, contributed to the country. We fought in every war. We want to get rights. Our children need to share just like your children. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. You know, well, it's not just all about one group of people. It's about all of us.
Well, the government does owe black descendants of African slaves reparations.
Yeah, well, I believe that too.
The United Nations would agree with that as well. You know, there's been nothing specifically given to African descendants of African slaves in this country. Nothing. When civil rights were enacted, and that was a broad stroke for everybody. It was nothing specifically for the descendants of African slaves in this country. Nothing. So there are so many things. People say, well, slavery was racism. It still goes on today. You see it in schools, you see it in the banking system, you see it where police are shooting black people even if their hands are up. You just see it in so many institutions.
Well, we can go on and
in today's society. So it's not like somebody could say, oh, well, slavery was a long time ago. You were never a slave. Why should the government give you anything?
But other people are
because you're still being affected by that mindset that the government created in people that has been passed down.
And there's people still reaping the benefits of their special privilege. So, you know, if they're reaping privilege, we're still reaping the repercussion of being a slave and being stigmatized as a slave. So, you know, we can go on forever, but hey, we got a lot of work to do right here in Las Vegas. And that's why I want everybody to come together. Let's really examine these candidates who's running for office that can have a direct effect upon our lives. And let's clean up Las Vegas as we go forward. I love you all. And hey, oh yeah, remember, listen to the Village Voices on KCEP Radio, 88.1 FM, 10 o'clock, at 10 o'clock a.m. this Wednesday coming. We interviewed Councilman Cedric Creer. Okay, he's running for City Councilman for Ward 5. Okay, it should be very exciting. We had a very thorough conversation with him about his ambitions and things that he's done in the community. So listen to Facebook Live and also listen to KCEP Radio. Okay, this is Miriam Gibson.
You can like, share, and subscribe. Go to our YouTube page, Village Voices Show Las Vegas. Our YouTube channel is Village Voices Show Las Vegas. We also are having a televised show. You can actually watch the Cedric Creer interview on Digital Vegas Television Network to watch the Cedric Creer interview that we did. And you can always get in touch with us at www.villagevoicesshow.com. That's villagevoicesshow.com.
And if you have any questions or any suggestions, and we also need donations, contact villagevoices76@gmail.com. Also, check out the Reuben Keewan interview also on YouTube. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you you tuning in to Village Voices, KCEP Radio, at 10 o'clock this Wednesday coming. Thank you, Miriam Gibson. See you.
All right, this is Shannon Churchwell. Bye.